feel like a magician.
Mm.
All right, we are live. We are here and we are ready to go. Is everybody ready? I'm just going to wait a few moments.
Ready, steady, go!
If people can say a bit of a shout out. Yes, ready. Thank you, Susan. Hi. Yep, people are with us.
Thanks for raising hands. Raising hands is a good idea too. Yeah. Cool.
Raise those hands.
Bit of more signing last week. Okay, thank you for joining us, everyone. Welcome to the Wednesday, yes, it's Wednesday, webinar. Hope you're really well. And we are so excited to have with us Tanya Burt. And of course, Tanya was with us only a few weeks ago, and we've pulled her back. We literally grabbed her and just virtually gave us this like virtual hug thing. And we grasped both hands and pulled her back into the fray. And we are so glad we did. And she's had a haircut. I don't know if I was allowed to mention that, but I did anyway.
And so are you, actually.
I had a haircut too, yeah. But my haircut's pretty boring. It's the same thing every time.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about Petitgrain tonight. Petitgrain is the oil of the evening. There it is, probably backwards. So a relatively new oil. Very exciting to talk about that. And it's... I think probably on people's radars. Maybe people aren't using it just yet. Maybe people have it in their collection and don't know what to do with it. Maybe they're just, they've maybe tried it once or twice. So it's great to have a new oil on the radar. So here we go. Let's talk about stuff before we get into other stuff. Wednesday webinar, 8 o'clock. We have an exciting announcement about webinar. Can we announce that?
No.
We'll do that now. Okay.
Surprises.
We're going to have a bit of a surprise with the Wednesday webinar very, very
Let's
soon too.
confirm it.
We'll have to 100% confirm that. Oh, it's very juicy. All right. So last week we talked about it, and I'm just going to mention again, this is a really fantastic enrollment offer from doTERRA, and it's going to run through to the end of August, okay? If you enroll someone with a 100-point enrollment order, I'm not talking about shampoo and conditioner, 10% off, okay? You got that. Okay, that's great. Yes, excellent. Now, the enrollment offer with the lifelong vitality, I think, is really clever, and because hopefully people will be more accepting and probably more open to the opportunity of trying it. Okay, so if you enroll someone with a 100-point order, enrollment order, and then if they have a 100-point LRP order the next month, then they get the lifelong vitality for free. And that's about $150 worth of supplements. Okay, it's a month's worth of supplements for free. What a fantastic offer. I was really excited when this came out. So enrolling someone, 100-point order, then next month, if they do a 100-point LRP, they will get the LLV. So too many acronyms. The lifelong vitality, which is a real game-changing supplement. And if you haven't tried it, then this is your opportunity. It's just fantastic. You've got the Alpha CRS, the Microplex BMZ, and the Exeomega. Now, of course, there's lots to talk about there, but we won't talk about tonight. Maybe if you go back in the webinars, you'll see Jodie's presentation on LLV, and you can learn more about it. Now, of course, this will carry on in next month. So next month will be followed by September. So you get the idea. Now, let's go onwards and forwards. The class is coming up this Friday night. I'm going to be presenting a class on men's health in Merriweather. Hopefully lots of people turn up, lots of blokes turn up, hopefully. That'd be ideal. And we can talk about men's health. And of course, men need to talk about their health sometimes. And all too often we don't. And we ignore it, or we just push it aside, or we get very reactive, and when we do get sick, then we end up taking something we probably shouldn't. And so this is about getting inside men's heads that this is about prevention and being open to the oils in terms of providing this preventative model entering their lives. And I'm very excited about sharing a lot of information about men's health specifically and what the oils can do for men. So please bring your men along on Friday night to Merriweather, okay? It's going to be great fun, a couple of hours talking about blokes and oils. Okay, so yeah. We have the next one coming up, Aroma Touch there at the bottom there. That's in Melbourne. That's at the end of August. So if you have people down in Melbourne who want to do the Aroma Touch training with Jody, that's on the 27th of August. Okay. Uluru, that incentive trip is causing a lot of discussion online. If you are enrolling, if you are putting people on LRP, as we just talked about, all those things count for points towards an incentive trip towards Uluru there in the end of January. I think it's 30th of January, 1st, 2nd of February, something like that. 3 days, they're packing a whole bunch of activities. And it'd be great to get as many people out there. It's an amazing part of Australia. I went out there when I was 16, and it still has an indelible mark on my memories. And I'm really looking forward to hopefully going out there again, and with Jody and the kids, hopefully, and taking them out there. Some of our school friends just went out just a week ago, and it was just fantastic for them, and it just sort of got that buzz in me. So yeah, that's good fun. livingwithessentialoils.com.au is, of course, the website that Jody has put together for everybody to sort of access a bunch of information, really. The members lounge there is for people to get stuck into the webinars from previous months and months and months and months. It's like we're doing these forever. The password is welcome. Okay, that's of course team specific, really, because it's non-compliant, as tonight will not be either. So there we go. Diffused. Check them out on YouTube. It was lots of fun. I'm going to do a couple more very, very soon. So that's also about men and giving men a voice and focus on men, really, because there's not enough of it. Tonight we have very special guest, Tanya Burt, as I mentioned before. Tanya, of course, is so knowledgeable in so many areas, and if you ever need anything done on your body or mind, go and see Tanya, okay? So she'll be happy to help you. doTERRA's silver leader, and I'm just putting it out there, Tanya. She is certainly a healer at heart, and she's got a beautiful heart. She just helps so many people in so many ways, and we're so happy to have her on this journey with us in doTERRA. So she's going to talk about Petitgrain, and as I said, a pretty new oil, and I'm sure many of you are just itching to hear more about it. So come on in from virtual world, Central Coast, Kurrumbong, Miss Tanya Burt. Welcome.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you very much. All right, lovely people. Let's play.
Let's play.
Petitgrain. Have you all got your Petitgrain with you? Has everyone got a bottle of Petitgrain and smelling it while we're talking?
We're going to give one away at the end, of course.
Remember, when we're talking about the emotional stuff, if we're actually smelling the oil and reading it, then we can actually get the results quite powerfully. So, all right, let's share the screen and get the play underway. Yeah, it is.
Loving the new hair, Tanya. Loving the new hair.
Oh, it's fun. I can't wait to get really messy. I said I can wake up every day and go have a ball and wake up with bedhead and no one can say anything. And so, yeah, that's my game. That's what I'm playing at. All right. Petitgrain. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So Petitgrain is, as we said, a reasonably new oil to our repertoire. And I think it's really important to be aware that it is from the bitter orange tree. So it's the leaves and the twigs. So it's not just one part of the tree. It's actually a couple of parts. And I find it really interesting. It's like bergamot, you know, we forget that it's actually from a fruit tree. And so that's where a lot of the beautiful things come from, by using good old Petitgrain. And it's actually got quite a long history. And as an aromatherapist, Petitgrain, I was very excited when that one came out, because it is used a lot in aromatherapy. And it's sourced from Paraguay, so that's pretty cool. And really important, you know, this is one of the things that I think that is beautiful, the way they've changed the paperwork in a few different areas, where they're really showing the co-impact sourcing as a reason why you would choose doTERRA over anybody else. And it's important to be aware, you know, it's like really does support those rural community development projects, provides the diversity in the income streams for these beautiful people. But it's really contributing positively to the country and the people in that area. So I love that part of it. So I was going to play and go into some of these things. So I'm going to see if it works. Because what I did was I just went and jumped on and went, come on, people. So if anyone wants to take a picture now, these are some of the resources that I found. But the videos are fantastic. And we miss out sometimes because we start chattering away in here and we forget it. But don't forget about the Source to You site. Really good to find information on. And our good old doTERRA.com site. You know, there's the Spotlight page has always got some great information, as does the pages in regards to the actual product. So let's see if I can get this one to work. It's only a short little video, but let's see.
Here we go.
We have been seeking a sustainable source of petitgrain for quite some time. And when we found a source in Paraguay, we were really, really excited. As we went in, it was quite an adventure. Got all the red mud, and of course the rains came down as we came in, which made it all the more fun. But I wasn't expecting what I found as we entered.
We look for the country or the area that's producing the best oils, and in the back of our minds, the area where we can have the most impact. Petitgrain has always been produced in Paraguay. It's been there for at least a century. So we wanted the best oil we could get. We wanted to make a difference in the lives of people who needed help. So we went to Paraguay.
There was a particular family that really stole my heart, a father and son team. And as they loaded up this little wooden cart that was drawn by an oxen, this oxen was borrowed by another member in the community. It was just loaned to him. And as they filled this cart up and took it down to the distillery that was owned by yet another community member, and to see them work together as father and son. This was very labor intensive. These distilleries in Paraguay are different from any distilleries I've ever seen. They're actually made out of wood. They're a very simple structure. But in order to make them work, you've got to seal them up and make them very, very tight, but yet have enough ventilation that you have the steam that can come through. That means they take this very rich red dirt and they cover the still after it's been filled with the plant material. And it works perfectly that way.
I'm really excited about Petitgrain essential oil. Now, Petitgrain, like all essential oils, has great diversity within its chemistry, a lot of complexity within its chemistry, and that always equates to greater benefits that we see when we use the essential oils. It's very similar to what we see in lavender in that we have linalool and we have linalool acetate. Only in Petitgrain essential oil, we see a complete reversal of that chemistry. We still get all the wonderful soothing and healthy benefits that we see. We know that it's relaxing and calming to the body, great for supporting digestion, an oil that's simple to use with this beautiful aroma that has a little bit of a earthy tone to it, but you can certainly pick up some of the citrus and more floral aromas as well.
By working with rural farmers and rural areas that are very impoverished, we'll be able to provide jobs for the farmers themselves and give incentive for their children to stay there and work the land that they have been working for decades. We've met with a lot of farmers who are anxious to get involved in Petitgrain again. Many farmers have let their trees grow and not harvested for years. Their distillation facilities are rotted. They no longer have them. They've let their wells collapse. Since doTERRA has started working in Paraguay, it's sparked a new interest in Petitgrain production in these areas, which is exciting to see because it gives them a bigger vision of what can be done in their communities. It can give them a bigger vision of what they can do on their lands.
I'm so excited to help these beautiful people, to bring back to a market an oil that has been part of their heritage for many generations, and we get to now bring that back. They're now partnered with us. We get to support them through our compact sourcing efforts, and they know that they get a fair price. And I love that we're able to do that. That also guarantees us a very pure, quality, potent product because we work with them from the ground up.
Pretty awesome, I say. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's great. It's a great film, that one. They make really professionally sort of slick, smooth looking films.
They do indeed. And the YouTube one there is actually Dr. Phil. I was about to say Dr. Phil. Dr. Hill talking about Petitgrain at the, I would imagine, I know he doesn't talk about that when he's in Australia, in the American convention last year. He gives away a lot more when he comes over to Australia. All right. So a couple of things I did pick up, though, that I think is really exciting about our friend Petitgrain. Just inhaling linalool actually restores our lymphocytes and our neutrophils to normal levels. And so people that are unwell, Petitgrain is really good, especially when we're thinking about the lymphatic system. So it's really making a massive difference. And, you know, it's talking about also how it affects our genes. And it enhances some of them. So there's a lot of talk at the moment in the medical industry and the natural wellness industry about genes and how we're changing our genome. So pretty cool. Something that you want to have a little bit of a think about is the fact that Mark was talking about tonight about the, I'm sorry, Mark, I've forgotten what it's called already. What is it again that you're doing on Friday night? What's the theme of it?
Oh, men's health.
You know, but what do you call that thing that you just had up on the screen?
Oh, diffused. Or
yeah, diffused. The diffused concept is what Dr. Hill is getting into here, in the awareness of males needing to be a little bit more supported in their essential oil journey. Yeah. And so Dr. Hill talks about in that video about how close Petitgrain and lavender are. And he talks about a man who came to him and wanted to know what's the deal with lavender because he really hates the smell of it. And so men don't have to go really near lavender. They can go to Petitgrain because you can pretty much use it for exactly the same things. But the interesting thing that I love about doTERRA is that Dr. Hill made it very clear. Yes, it's very close to lavender, but the intricacies and the extra constituents that are in Petitgrain is what makes it absolutely amazing. So I just listed off, and I'm not really going to go into all of that, but if you're that type of sciencey person, then you can sit there and have a look at those different constituents and actions. But when we're talking about what we can do, this is where we can have some fun. So when you're having a look at our the health benefits of Petitgrain, look how many there are. Like it's not an oil that we need to put aside because we're not sure about it. We can get in and have some fun with it. It really supports hypertension. It's a natural coolant. It maintains emotional balance. And I mean, sorry, every single oil does that as far as I'm concerned. But it does support that in its own way. And we'll talk a bit about that because you know what I'm like. And so it improves our productivity. So it's going to help us feel more successful in what we're doing. It relieves spasms. And I thought that was interesting because this might be something else that we can use instead of what we've been trying if it's not working. Obviously, it's a mood enhancer. And these things come from, I've got the link down the bottom of the screen there so you can go and have a look. And I also added in good old Miss Sue Lawton and some of her things I added to this. So it's really good for oily skin and hair. And I found that quite interesting because that would be really good for a lot of younger people with their hormones. It helps with our memory. It's really good for the nervous system. Fantastic deodorant. So, but it's really good for excessive perspiration. So, interestingly, it might be something we need to have a look at putting into our deodorants. And it can be an antidepressant as well. And well, we know that wild orange and frankincense are fantastic. So you might want to try Petitgrain and frankincense. Really good for the skin, especially for acne. So again, coming back to our teenagers and our boys that don't like different things, we might be able to use Petitgrain instead. Really good for insomnia. And I find a lot of the citrus oils, especially wild orange. So I'm actually going to try Petitgrain tonight to see how it goes with helping me sleep, because it's actually a natural sedative. So that's quite interesting. But I also mentioned already about the detoxing of the lymphatic system. But if you've got any swollen lymph nodes, so if you're feeling a little bit out of sorts, you could actually use some Petitgrain there. It can help with healing the wounds. For being citrus, it's going to cleanse them as well. It helps with our cardiovascular health. It can help us overcome addictions. Again, that comes down to the citrus side of it. Reducing stress, but it can help with the digestive system. So diarrhea, fatigue, bloating and gas. So we can use it in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Jodie it's Jodie's favourite oil. She won't do that, but she puts it in your facial moisturiser, doesn't it?
Yeah, add to my moisturiser.
Yeah, so she'll be putting moisturiser at night, especially, and during the day too. And she'll actually put a couple of drops in with the moisturiser, and yeah, loves it.
Cool. And you can actually smell it for a lot longer than when you just wear it. If you add it to cream,
yeah.
So beautiful.
I hope you heard that. So if you add it to cream, the actual aroma lasts much longer. So.
Just be aware, though, it is a citrus oil, so it can have some issues with sun exposure. So if you have sensitive skin, it's not as like the other ones. It's not like bergamot and so forth, but it is still a citrus. So we do need to be aware that it can have some challenges. And because being in the summertime, I wouldn't be like now. It wouldn't matter, but summertime I'll be a bit more careful because it is because being citrus. Broken skin, Asians, things like that.
Jodie's got a little bit of a...
It's a good skin oil because it's actually steam distilled and it doesn't come from the fruit, so it doesn't ripen like the fruit that are cold pressed.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it's fine. Yeah.
Yep. No, it's definitely fine. But I'm just saying, just be aware for people with sensitive skin that we still need to double check. Can be different, but yeah, it's the same stuff that they say on all of the different oils and all the different sites. It's a very similar theme, but it's just being aware that citrus oils can have a reaction with the skin.
Yeah.
And the usual finding that on the organic facts, it's always good. So it's talking about microbial infections, and we already talked about how it can boost the nervous system and help with body odors and skin infections and anxiety and relief. But it's really a good one for those spasms and coughs and cramps and congestion. So it's another one that we can bring into when we're having that change of season. But it's something that comes up again is in the hypertension. So it's going to help with the heart, which is great. All right.
Sorry, Tanya, you've got a question from somebody. Can you use it on younger kids, 2 and 5 years old?
Most definitely, but most important that you must dilute.
Yeah.
As with all oils, we want to dilute.
Yeah.
I had a bit of fun trying to get this to do because I've just got it photocopied out of someone else's book because I use my book so it's my friend now.
I'll believe it too. Yeah.
So remembering that when we're working with the emotions, like people forget that it's that. Just picking up the oil starts the process. So this particular one works really well with white fir and Douglas fir because it's about negative family patterns that we can work with. So when you're putting your oils together to support yourself with things that you feel like are a bit of a cycle, you could use Petitgrain instead of using the white fir and the Douglas fir if that's not helping you at this point in time. But you can see there, it's working with feeling duty-bound, feeling excessively loyal and unhealthy traditions. And I think, it's a beautiful oil to help with you're bringing forward your own wisdom. But as usual, I've got another bit of information. So I went and had a look at my favourite book. Everyone knows this one, Robbie Zeck. She's really cool, and she talks about the balance between being awakened and stifled. So it's again that whole awareness around how we can just be feeling a little bit trapped. So this is a good one to get in there and play with. And, you know, the questions that we can ask ourselves are, what are your ancient memories? So this one's really interesting. I didn't really take any notice about the fact that it was all about how inherited patterns until I did this. And it was like, wow, this goes really aligned beautifully with our friend white fur and Douglas fir. So I think it can really help. So there's some good fun to be had there.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. So what chakra do you think Petitgrain would work with? I had my chakra night last night, and I'm going to be doing it regularly because it's one of my favourite things to do, because people get lost. And I'm just wondering, I can't see what they're saying without going backwards. Oops.
Jody reckons the one,
the centre, the solar,
the one over the sacrum, is it? The one over the
sacrum. Yeah, cool. Yep.
Is it right?
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is, this is what I wanted to get across: is there is no right or wrong answer when it comes to using essential oils or anything really with your chakras, because everyone will have a different flavour within that chakra. Okay. But the good safe way to go, if you're really not sure, is the fact that it's a citrus oil. Then it's going to work really well actually in your solar plexus. So in that middle zone, in the yellow zone. But at the same time, it definitely will, because of the type of oil it is. It's about ancestry. It's definitely going to work on the sacral. Yes, Jody, I would be using it a lot in that area. Yeah. Because it's all about, you know, relinquishing self-control and instilling self-acceptance and self-love. And many of you would have seen the post today, gorgeous Jody put up about looking after ourselves. So this oil really aligns with everything we're talking about today. And it's, you know, really one of those ones that we can use if we've got someone that's got high anxiety or who's really struggling with panic and that needs to be calmed down. I love the fact that it can help with addictions, because I think all of the oils help with that, but in its own way. It's about releasing denial, avoidance and self-judgment, and that's a big one when we're talking about addictions. But yeah, so you can work with these oils in so many different ways. I'm trying to leave it up there a bit and you can read it. And as usual, I'll post it on the page so that if you want to have a little bit more of a look, you're most welcome to. Let's do it again. All right. Some fun facts. So did you know that Petitgrain has been used in the perfume industry due to its pleasant scent since the 18th century? For God's sakes, that's a long time. But it's also where the name come from, little grains, which I thought was a bit weird because it's not grain, it's actually the leaf and the twig. But anyway, and steams to it, as we said. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's one of those ones that has actually been used, and we've been using it a lot because it's in our flavouring of our lollies and our beverages. So there you go. It's in a lot of different things.
Wow.
Just to add, because we've always got to have our friend Dr. Sue come in just to give us that little bit of extra insight. When I looked at what the oil blends with, I pretty much come up with every oil in all the different sites that I went to. But these are the ones that Dr. Sue talks about. And here we go with some protocols that you could use. So you've got one for clarity of thought, which would be really good for HSC students coming up, and also people that are trying to get anything done in particular. Might be good for you on Friday there, Mark. You never know, to keep you focused.
I'll be
but and because it's got confidence as well, but not that you need any of that. I think you've got bucket loads of that one. But really good, I thought, interesting for forgiving, anger management and anxiety. I knew about the anxiety, but for anger management, it makes a lot of sense because a lot of us get angry at ourselves because of the patterns that we've been playing for so many years. So it's a beautiful oil and one that we can use in lots and lots of different ways. I'll pop that up on the page for everyone so that you can go back through it if you'd like to. But I think, Mark, we've got a question to finish off tonight.
Actually, just before we get to that, Tanya, if anyone wants to write up just how they feel about that, I mean, is that something, from watching what Tanya has just given us, does it make you want to use Petitgrain? Does it make you want to, get one and have a crack? Because it does for me. I think it's such a versatile oil with such a complex chemistry. It's good for a lot of things, as Tanya's given us all this information. Yeah, so just maybe a few comments. Yeah, can't wait from Pauline, definitely. Yeah. So lots of yeses. I think that's the general.
Yeah, it's really one that I really think that a lot of us need to really get into in the power, especially with the confidence, because there's a lot of kids out there. This will be a really good blend for them to have to take to school. You know, in a different way to the in tune, because the in tune can, for some kids, they don't like the smell of it because it's making them too focused. But this one's a citrus smell. So imagine putting that with, you could put it with the frankincense, the cypress, and the rosemary, and make a beautiful blend. And then you've got confidence and clarity of thought all in one hit.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure that you give it a try and get it out and give it a good smell, because it is. I love the fact that the video at the beginning showed the clay, because when you smell it, it's like you can smell yourself there. And that's why I like watching the videos of where the oils come from. And a little plug for Emily, right? You know, we're going to be able to see Emily soon. Woo! So, you know, when you watch those things and see those things, and we really understand what difference we're making by using these oils as well. So think about all those people in Paraguay who are putting, you saw all of those empty wells and their distilleries. We can make a difference by using Petitgrain.
Absolutely, it's a very good point you make. Paraguay, of course, very impoverished, and you know, the communities there are benefiting from everybody buying this as well, which is beautiful. How would you describe that aroma? Because it's such a unique, crazy.
Well, I reckon it's actually got a touch of floral, as well as the deep tones of the earth, because there is that little twinge. I reckon it's beautiful.
Now, before we get to our giveaway, Jodie wanted everyone to know this is her perfume at the moment. So she's got, where's my camera? Up here. So, Petitgrain. What have we got there, Joe?
Wild orange.
Ylang Ylang, wild orange, and Petitgrain. So that's what Jodie is using at the moment for a perfume. In fact, she's been using it for a while. Yeah, love that. So, okay, so we have
Also, just can we tell everyone the dates that Emily Wright is coming to Australia?
I think you brought up a good point there, Tanya, about Emily Wright. If people don't know, perhaps Emily Wright's coming to Australia. That was the lady speaking in the film quite a few times. Emily is the heart and soul of doTERRA. She really is a beautiful human being, and she's going to come across for a special tour. She hasn't been here for a few years. So it's a great opportunity to see her speak and to obviously meet her and express any thoughts you have personally. She's more than happy to spend time with everybody. So she'll try. She will. She'll spend time with everybody. So basically, we've got some dates, Joe.
We do.
Unfortunately, she's not coming to Sydney, which is bizarre and a little bit disappointing. In fact, very disappointing. But hey, it is what it is. So she's going to go Melbourne and Brisbane. I think for most people that'll pretty much cover it. But she's also doing Auckland and Perth as well, isn't she?
I'm just trying to look it up now.
So while Jodie's doing that, is we screen sharing?
No.
Yep.
We're not screen sharing. Can you see our screen, Tanya? No.
No, not yet.
Okay.
All right. Next week's webinar, while Jodie's doing that, next week's webinar will be, actually we've got things out of order, funnily enough. I think we're going to do Passion next week, and also PB Assist is coming. So we've actually missed those two somehow, but they are going to re-enter the fray on our Wednesday webinar. So PB Assist and Passion are coming, and we may have a very, very special guest from all the way from the States joining us live. So that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to tell you, because it may not happen, but we're certainly working on that as we speak, shoring this person up. So they will definitely do it. Fingers crossed. Okay, Jodie's got some dates, hopefully, and then we'll get to the giveaway of the oil.
I was also going to make a couple of my blends. So here's the dates.
Okay, so Emily Wright tour, everybody. Hope you've got a pen. Monday, October 9th. She's in Perth. Oh, come on, Joe. Work with me here. Here she goes. Okay. We're going to screen share. You clever, Joe. So Emily writes in Brisbane on the 11th of October, and that's a 6:30 start. And of course, Melbourne on the Friday the 13th. Ooh. That's 6:30 as well. And then Auckland, Saturday, October 14th. They are the 4 big dates if you want to see.
Melbourne.
Emily, if you're curious about where, yeah, we're going to Melbourne. It was a bit of a 50-50. Some people are doing both Brisbane and Melbourne. We're just going to do Melbourne and head down there.
I'm probably going to Auckland as well.
Okay, Jody's going to
Roadies. We're going to be roadies.
You're right, roadies. We have a special story. We actually shared an hour and a half in a little minibus with Emily on the way back to Brisbane Airport a few years ago. It was so funny. It was Emily, and Natalie Goddard, and Dr. Hill, and us, and also Teresa Harding, and Emily's husband. It was just crazy hour and a half car ride. It was great fun. So let's give away a Petitgrain, Tanya Burt. So everybody, if you're on Facebook, please don't answer anything on Facebook. Just go on Zoom, and
we've got 3 prizes tonight.
3 prizes, have we?
Yep.
We got 3 questions, Tanya. That's the big thing.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty easy.
Just full of questions for people. Can we just get the chat up?
All right.
I might get the chat before we do anything else. Oops. Oh, someone wanted to use with the from the deaf community. We can't do that tonight, but we definitely had that last week with Jessica. Okay. Is everyone ready to go? First question from Tanya Burt. Okay, we'll make it the 5th correct answer. All right, this is to win Petitgrain. There's only 1 bottle of Petitgrain. I don't know where the other 2 are going to be. I think some blends. Jody's making some special blends. So the question is, 5th correct answer. Go.
What did Dr. Hill call this oil? What's it? What is it? What is it?
What did Dr. Hill call?
Ah, there we go. Men's lavender.
Petitgrain.
Men's one.
The 5th correct answer.
There's only 2 so far. 3.
1, 2, 3,
4.
4. Are you counting? 1, 2, oh, here we
5. You know who got it?
go. 4, 5. Di Smith. Di Smith. Yeah, 1.
Not me, I promise.
Unbelievable. Di, of course, is one of our presenters. I'm assuming it's the same Di Smith. There's more Di Smiths maybe in the team. Thank you very much for that one. That's great. And well done, Di.
Di is definitely allowed to win.
She's definitely allowed. Yes, it is me, she says. Yes.
Right. We know it.
So
All right.
Jody's making a little special blend. What's in the blend, Joe?
It's my favourite perfume that I'm going to share.
It's Jody's favourite perfume, which is Ylang Ylang.
Look at this gorgeous bottle.
Oh.
Comes
Oh,
with
that's very cute.
a tassel. So we've got 2.
I think
2
everyone
of
needs a
those.
tassel on their bottle. Can I take these on Friday nights with all the blokes? No, there you go. So this will have wild orange, Ylang Ylang, and Petitgrain. Okay, and the second question, to win the little tasseled bottle blend, Jody, Tanya, over to you.
Do we remember what the emotional oil, like what it is? Like Petitgrain is the oil of?
Oh, the 5th correct answer. Ancestry, emotion, no.
3,
Ancestry,
4,
5.
5. Pauline Bennett, I think, got number 5.
Thanks, everyone. Some great answers. Everyone's got that happening. So, yes, it was. I think it was Pauline Bennett's. Okay, fantastic. Like Pauline's won a few things lately. Well, that is your little bottle of joy that Jody has made for you.
And here's the last one.
And the last one, oh my goodness, another tasseled one, but it's pink-ish.
These bottles came from Dani.
This is from Dani
Oh.
Gibbs.
All right, cool.
So that's
All right.
the same blend, Joe?
I think that, yep.
Same blend again. And stuttering
So-
that really works. Okay, so we just need to say it slowly. So the 5th correct answer, and the question is,
Good on you, Diane. What is the blend that we're making?
Oh,
Haha. See if anyone can remember that one.
up there for thinking, Tanya Burt.
What is
the blend?
in that lovely bottle? Oh, Nelly. No, you need it. There's 3 oils. There we go. Oh, God. 2.
I just came out of nowhere.
4, 5. Oh, God.
Okay, I need to go back up here.
That was nice and quick. Geez, you guys can type beautifully.
I reckon. So that's 1. Jodie's perfume. Yes, that's a good answer. Thank you, Diana. That's actually correct. But so we'll take that as a correct answer. We'll make the second one. 3rd, 4th.
We need to know the recipe.
Yes.
No, it has to be the recipe, so it can't be just no. It's got to be.
I'm seeing 2
You've
nice.
got to have the right answer.
All right. So 1,
Got to be
2,
wild orange, ylang ylang, and Petitgrain.
5. So it's Donna Anderson.
Why can't
I should be writing this down. Hey.
Yeah, we need to write it down so we can remember.
So Di, and we had, who was the second person? I just completely forgot. Pauline Bennett, and now it's
say all of our names.
Donna Anderson. Hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. That's all we've got to give away. But thank you all for participating in that little challenge. Some great answers.
Hope you like the perfume. Yeah, you can. It's just equal amounts. I've put 10 drops of each in the bottle. If you're wondering what the recipe is, yeah, very potent. It is. That's how I like it.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's very generous, Jodie. Very generous.
Yes, well.
Yes, that was
How
bad
wrong.
spelling, actually, Donna. I agree with you there, but I actually, I'll pay it. I'll take it. Yeah.
I get lots of
We're not going to be picky on spelling.
No.
No.
So thank you, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Thank you so much, Tanya Burt, for doing this webinar and being there for us always. We love you, and your efforts are just huge, and for the team, for the greater good of mankind. We're going to hopefully see everybody on Friday night. We're going to hopefully enjoy lots of blokes attending on Friday night for Merryweather's event, and as we know there's lots of events coming up, and if you ever need us, we're here for you, and message us. Are you going to do some business training tonight?
Well, I'm actually going to do some Facebook training.
Facebook training with Jodie, if you want to stick around. Jodie was posting today about self-care, and I think Tanya mentioned that too.
That was in our Success Sharers group, in the business group.
Yeah, so there's a bit of that going on today. Hopefully everyone's looking after themselves and using the oils and spending time looking after their own welfare, and then not just physical, but mental as well. And just getting some time to slow down, and especially in winter, like it's sort of, you feel like you have to keep going because they keep warm, but just get somewhere warm and to rest and recuperate sometimes, and get the oils in the diffuser and yeah, at least for half an hour or something. So Jodie is in her dressing gown.
I am.
We're going to stop recording, guys. We're going to get the dressing gown on the recording. Thanks for joining us until next week. We're going to have Passion, I think, or PB Assist, one of those.